All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to UCW Radio. We are in our second edition, and we are the post Defiance, rocking and rolling, ready to go tonight. A little tired, a little worn down. The energies have been expelled with UCW last night. Hot crowd, full house. We had a lot going on. We'll be talking about the event that was. I'm Stan Grubb, and my co-host, of course, is Rob Hefner
Hello, hello, hello.
and Brian Taylor.
What's going on?
Not too much, man. We had a full house at the Ashland, Virginia Hoops Academy, and man, oh man, was it a heck of a night for UCW Radio. We had some interesting matchups. We had our second ever Facebook showcase match for the Tag Team Championship, which was Noise Pollution facing what was supposed to be Cheap Thrills, now was turned to facing Bacon and Eggs. That's Ace Montana and Pork Chop Johnson. Man, that was an exciting matchup, and the crowd itself was ready for action. And good Lord, we had a lot of it to talk about. Let's first off talk about a couple of the changes that happened with the event because Cheap Thrills was not at the event. Jimmy Flame was. However, we wanted to send our condolences to Matt Sexcells for the passing of his mother. Very sorry to hear about that, but we certainly understand as to what could keep him from being at the event. And I know all of the fans on social media have definitely been putting that out there. So certainly our thoughts go out to Mr. Matt Sells. Joe King was game and ready to step into the ring with Jimmy Flame. Great matchup between these two. Jimmy Flame successful yet again in a singles matchup, and Joe King actually had a good showing for himself.
Yeah, I think it was a great ability to be able to last minute change. Great chance to showcase Joe King, and it shows Jimmy Flame is versatile in singles competition as well as tag team. So the flame was burning.
Yes,
So
indeed. Well, the fans, the fans were ready for him. I mean, we were talking full house. It's 300 plus people in the venue, on their feet and cheering for Jimmy Flame. It was really cool, and again, successful venture by him in his. I wanted to say this is his second singles matchup with UCW. Now, the other matchup that took place was, of course, MC123 and Wes Rogers. Boy, the 2017 Most Improved Wrestler, MC123. Boy, did he ever get the crowd going.
hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Sorry.
Well, apparently he got Rob going too.
Thought it was a good match. Definitely showed a different side of MC123 that we saw them than when we saw last time, and you know, most improved. So yeah,
I think that Wes Rogers had a good showing for himself as well. I mean, he was ready when he debuted at Ultimate Collision. He certainly was prepared. He came out for Defiance, and man, he really was all about safety first, which he was trying to encourage the fans to get behind him. They didn't really seem to buy in so much, though. They weren't necessarily in approval of safety first.
yeah, they're kids. You know, they're not known for safety at that young age.
That's true. And once the little MCs got behind him,
Yeah, they're all about the flash. Not about doing what your mom and daddy tell you, and it's just rough at that age. No
certainly
wonder
is.
they booed him. No class.
Well, I think that's one viewpoint to take on it. I mean, the night itself, you could tell there was a special feeling in the air. This was an event done for the Hoops Academy to help the kids and help the basketball arena. These kids were ready. They were excited to be in attendance. Got a chance to introduce them to Sickened and Tremor. This was an interesting matchup. These two guys really, really lit the ring up. Sicken, of course, very, very popular with our fans. And Tremor, maybe a fresh kink in the armor in Big Stuff Industries as he and KR Superstar, a miscue between the two, ends up costing them an opportunity at victory.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just hard with Tremor. He got issues. Sometimes they come out at the wrong time. I'm not saying anything bad, but he got demons.
He's got a lot of problems, and KR Superstar has his hands full at every twist and turn as far as trying to keep him under some semblance of control. But give Sicken credit, he was able to utilize the opportunity and turn it into a victory.
he's a gamesman. He knows how to play the game. He got sick. You got Trimmer and KR working against each other. He started showing that the voices and the demons, and then he just took that for his advantage and won by countout. A win's a win.
They one part that I did notice when it comes to the matchup between Sicken and Tremor was that Sicken and the Riot City faithful really, really showed up, and the noise for Sicken was great. I was very, very happy to see that.
Yeah, they. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Go ahead. You started first. Go.
I was just gonna say that it was nice to see Sicken be able to come out on top this time, bringing the Riot City with him. Maybe that's what gave him the edge.
Yeah, I mean, with an event this exciting, this fast, furious, and impactful, that was one of those things that Sicken just utilized everything around him in the fan favor to keep him on top, to keep him ready, and really that was what made the difference for him. Hey, we had a debut last night. Our very own Rob Hefner made his in-ring debut as the an interviewer and conducted an interview with KR Superstar and Mr. Big Stuff. Rob, how did it feel to excite the crowd in your first official entry into UCW?
Well, I will say it was like a surreal moment, like a lifelong dream as a kid. Like when you watch wrestling as a kid, to actually get in one ring, and so to be able to walk to the ring was cool. To be able to talk to the champ was cool. Because how many people can be in the ring with the champ? Now, I was trying to ask the questions of, it looked like there was some dissension in the ranks at Big Stuff Industries, and that, hey, if with Trimmer losing, does this mean is it setting the trend for the night, and vice versa? It was my mistake that I miscalled the champ, and I do apologize, Mr. Stuff, Mr. Big Stuff. Um,
Mm-mm.
but yeah,
You've,
so
you've
it
done
was
it
fun.
again. Done it again. It's Mr. Big Stuff, Bill Woody.
There we go.
How many times y'all are gonna pay? Both of you.
But the problem was KR came to the ring and he was angry, and so when I brought up the question, he didn't want to listen, and then the crowd there in Ashland had my back and showed that KR exactly what they thought of him, and that's where it went from there.
What? I mean, how do you get off blaming KR though for your mistake?
It wasn't my mistake with KR. KR just when he started insulting the crowd, and they just let him have it. And after that, there was no bringing it back. I did my best.
Right. You had airtime with the champ, and you flubbed it up. That's why he took the mic from you.
I mean,
Me being a journalist, I know that when the champ takes the mic, you don't fight it. You let the man talk.
Oh, so now you're saying you want to fight the champ?
whoa. Well,
That's
after
a shame.
after the controversy that ensued with the champion, I think Rob will be happy to keep the microphone in hand to let the champ and any of his challengers sort it out in the ring because man, oh man, we had some controversy last night, did we not? As Ethan Cross, Mr. Ethan Cross, excuse me, the television champion, faced off with the Red Scorpion in a television championship title defense that saw
A what?
a television championship title defense.
Okay.
Television title.
You
No
said
title.
something different. Sorry.
Oh, my mistake. Television title defense. But
You said television or something, so I was just.
so, yeah, well, that's my bad. But the TV title was on the line. Ethan Cross facing the Red Scorpion, and man, great matchup between the two. I think Red Scorpion was ready, and boy, did he ever show up in big fashion as he became the television champion for Ultimate Championship Wrestling, but not without a little bit of controversy as KR Superstar hit the ring, stole the briefcase from Mr. DuPont, causing Ethan Cross to be distracted, and unfortunately losing the TV title. I mean, this is a big happening because up until this point, Ethan Cross was undefeated in UCW.
I don't know what you're talking about. I must have been in the bathroom or something. I didn't see that.
Well, I'm curious as to hear because we've got what you would call the differing points of view here. Brian, what were your thoughts on the matchup and the intrusion by KR Superstar?
I didn't see it. Hangnail injury, something.
Hangnail.
Yeah. Eyelash in the eye. It's very debilitating.
Well, I mean, a hangnail is known to keep you out of action for months on end,
Years.
years.
Sometimes years.
Yep, that's true, and it's a very debilitating injury. I can tell you that. Hey, but with the Red Scorpion television champion now, Ethan Cross, of course, I would imagine is going to at some point want his rematch in an attempt to win the title back. Or is this an opportunity for him? Does the DuPont family turn a challenge into an opportunity, and perhaps we see Ethan, challenge for the world title, for the heavyweight title?
Well, go
I
ahead.
don't know. I don't know. I think every champion deserves a rematch. I think the monkey muffins that were there understand what happened. I think it was KR firing another shot across the bow to Humphrey J. DuPont. Just letting him know who is the most hated person in UCW. And Ethan Cross paid the price. So that's a question that Ethan Cross has to have with old Humphrey J.
It was definitely a situation that didn't start the night off in the way that Mr. DuPont had hoped, because this was supposed to be the DuPont family's crowning achievement, their opportunity to really set the night ablaze as the DuPont family was expecting to celebrate. And maybe this was some foreshadowing of things to come. Who knows? But when you look at it, this was just not the way they wanted to start the night. We get to the tag team championship. Again, we mentioned that it was supposed to be Cheap Thrills. They were unable to compete. However, Pork Chop Johnson and Ace Montana, Bacon and Eggs, challenging. Know it. They challenged for the tag team championship in our second ever Facebook showcase matchup. First and foremost, how electric was the crowd for this matchup?
I think the crowd was electric all night.
Very true.
And I mean, from the opening bell to the closing curtain, they were in it. The crowd that came to Hoops Academy not only came to raise money for the kids, they came to see wrestling. And UCW did not disappoint. And the tag team match did not disappoint. I was very shocked. I was very surprised to see how quick the crowd turned on our champions, though, because normally where we go, the crowd loves them. I guess that's the power of bacon and eggs. A little grease in the eye or something.
Well, Virginia is known for its love of breakfast foods. And bacon and eggs might have just been that kind of a moment for them. But let me just tell you from a social media standpoint, Facebook has been on fire for Ultimate Championship Wrestling. When you look at the numbers, we are already outperforming the first Facebook showcase, which says nothing negative about that first matchup. Sicken and Jeffrey Bravo really came through in a big, big way. But you can see that 2018 is going to be a big, big year for Ultimate Championship Wrestling because this matchup and the result. What can you say? So much to talk about. Noise pollution. The crowd response to noise pollution in such a negative fashion, to Rob's point, was a definite surprise. But they didn't hold back, and by no stretch of the imagination was this matchup anything except a fight. This matchup was a straight-up brawl between two very, very talented tag teams. Ace Montana, what can you say about him? A very charismatic individual. The crowd cheering him on. And when Pork Chop hit the ring, what was he calling it? The Pork Chop Pound Cake was in full effect. Goodness gracious. And then the headbutt shots between Max and Pork Chop. Gosh, that's two of the hardest heads in professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And man, oh man, that was what a sight, man.
It's just the example of what the hard hitting action UCW has. I mean, I don't think there was a bad match to be had, and I thought the that match leading up to the world title match, amazing, just amazing.
Brian, I know that you were able to see some of the action as far as the social media excitement. What was your point of view for Facebook Live?
Well, I was unfortunately not able to connect while it was live, I guess, because there were other devices, so I had to wait and watch it later. I missed a lot of that match just due to technical difficulties, but the crowd was clearly behind it.
Yeah, definitely. The crowd was in a real happy state of mind, and they were excited for this matchup. The match itself went over 20 minutes. The brawl between these two very talented tag teams. I don't know that we've seen the last of this title challenge here. I think Ace and Porkchop were certainly looking to get another opportunity at the champs. Max and Rock were grateful to get out of Ashland, Virginia as champions still. Seemed like they were caught off guard, of course, like any other team would be, by a surprise entry, but up to the challenge yet again. They remain your tag team champions for Ultimate Championship Wrestling. So we go from the tag team championship to the main event of the evening. And this matchup was, what can you say about the UCW Heavyweight Championship? Mr. Big Stuff comes to the ring and all the fanfare in all his glory, with KR Superstar at his side. Jeffrey Bravo had the crowd on their feet, and Humphrey J. DuPont had a lot of supporters. There was a lot of chants for Humphrey J. This matchup, of course, not without its own controversy. We apparently had seen a brand new Ultimate Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion as the referee counts the three, but if you are able to see the footage, which you will be able to very, very soon, you will see that, yes, indeed, Mr. Big Stuff's foot was indeed on the ropes. Referee comes down to the ring while the DuPont family is celebrating in the ring, jumping for joy, and explains that the foot was on the ropes. Now, A situation like this always comes into question because we all know that the referee's decision is indeed final. However, the referee does make the decision to restart the match in this chaos, in the fray, while they're trying to decide what they're going to do. Mr. Big Stuff, wham, wallops Jeffrey Bravo in the back of the head with the briefcase. And down he goes for the 1, 2, 3. Your champion still, heavyweight champion still, Mr. Big Stuff Billy Woody Jr. Some would tell you, not a surprise at all. Others would say that Jeffrey Bravo was robbed. Rob, what do you think?
I think when you're in the world title match, you got to pay attention. I think Jeffrey Bravo showed the champ that he was a legitimate contender, and Big Stuff Industries saw right there how quick things could change, and how quick the company could be taken over, I guess should say. But Big Stuff Industries and Mr. Big Stuff Billy Woody Jr. came out on top. And that just shows you right there with KR and those guys. You got to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, you really, really do. Brian, of course, I know that last week you put the CEO of UCW on the hot seat, trying to ask him to explain his reasoning for how he selects different challengers, and you got to see it firsthand. The two families, the two stables, the two factions of UCW at war. What did you think from your perspective?
I think last night was business, not a war. Let's not take it too far now. It's business. Bravo won his right to go after the title, and he went after the title, and the smarter manager won that night. And let's not put it in a war category yet. Nobody's been laid down or anything. And I know big journalism sells papers, but let's not go there yet, Stan.
So you're saying Humphrey J wasn't as smart as KR?
It hit last night. KR got the better of Humphrey and the rest of them, and that's why Big Stuff kept the title. It's business. It's all business. That's it. Tonight or last night they might have fought each other. Next time maybe they're going to be in the ring together. It's business. That's all it is. When you deal with money like they do, sometimes you got to go against friends, and at the end of the day, though, it's all business.
I gotta say, I think with what we witnessed last night, I would find it hard to believe to see Humphrey J. DuPont IV and KR Superstar in the same ring at the same time for any duration as far as any kind of alliance. But to Brian's point, stranger things have definitely happened. It could happen. I really, you can't deny that. But KR Superstar really, one more time, KR Superstar had the plan. He had a plan and he executed. Big Stuff Industries maintains its hold atop the UCW mountain. The question now is, okay, Jeffrey Bravo, unfortunately not successful in becoming world champion, heavyweight champion for UCW. Who becomes the next challenger? Who do you think we would have as our next number one contender?
Maybe it's Ethan. You pointed it out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He was undefeated. Was a TV champ. He's earned the right, maybe. Who knows? I think win-loss, though, you go by win-loss, it has to be Ethan, with only one loss to his name. So.
Rob, what do you think? Is Ethan Cross our next number one contender, or do we see someone else rise through the ranks?
I think Ethan deserves a shot, but you can't ignore Scorpion for coming in and in his second match at UCW taking the television title away from Ethan, giving Ethan his first loss. So could be that this is Scorpion's just stepping stone to the next ladder. But then again, you can't ignore Jeffrey Bravo because with the conundrums and the Canabry and the who's what's it that happened in the match, you can't not give him a rematch.
Call it what you will, I still say that there's an awful lot of shenanigans there that could put Jeffrey Bravo in an opportunity for the championship one more time.
I think so. That's what I think. I think Jeffrey Bravo deserves a match that doesn't end with skeptic. I can't.
Skepticism.
There you go.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, those are big words.
Hawk not good with words. Hawk, write it down. I will say this. Hey, Ultimate Championship Wrestling was a hell of a night, hell of a show last night. They held a great 50-50 drawing that was donated to the kids at the Hoops Academy. That was awesome. We had so many in attendance, so many fans that I spoke with that were just excited to see wrestling at its finest, as they put it. And also, they even had some fans out there that were asking to see different talent perhaps come to the UCW roster. And as we heard last week, never say never in UCW. So I'll tell any of our fans that are listening tonight that, one, your voices were definitely heard last night, and we thank you so much for your support, for the cheers, for the boos, all of it. And let me just say the Hoops Academy was very, very happy to have us and also happy to have you, the fans, there at the Hoops Academy to help them hopefully get some new equipment, redo maybe the floors. As you saw, they were anxious to get us in there, and they had a great time. I can tell you that for the first time in the Ashland area, we were very warmly received, and that was an awesome experience.
Yes. The Ashland area and the Richmond area has not seen the last of UCW.
No, indeed. Ultimate Champ. Go ahead.
It was good for the kids. It was a great turnout. So again, hopefully we can help them get some equipment. Maybe get the floors taken care of. But when it's for the kids, all joking aside, it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. We got a chance to. We got there a little bit early just to kind of help get everything set up, of course. And as we got there, we got a chance to watch a couple of teams going at it on the court, which was pretty fun to watch. And you could tell right away that this was going to be done for a good cause. Exciting turnout, great fans, and Ultimate Championship Wrestling definitely appreciates each and every one of you. So many questions that come out of Defiance last night. Of course, who's going to be the next number one contender? I have to kind of say that Rob might be right with the Red Scorpion winning the television championship.
Whoa. Just because he's TV champ doesn't mean he gets to jump to the front of the line. Ethan didn't get that opportunity. You weren't screaming for him to be number one contender. Just because you're a fanboy, it doesn't mean, Let's look at this objectively now.
I think there's a lot to be said. You got Red Scorpion as TV champion, has an opportunity as number one. Jeffrey Bravo, can't disagree with him. He has an opportunity there that maybe he feels he was robbed. Ethan Cross, maybe this is his time to step up to the main event and take an opportunity for himself and become heavyweight champion. There's a lot of questions right now, a lot of questions going on in Ultimate Championship Wrestling. But let me just say this. We have not seen the end of Big Stuff Incorporated. Big Stuff Industries. My mistake. Big Stuff Industries versus the DuPont family. Guys, gals, this is going to be...
It's a Fortune 5 company.
I thought it was a Fortune 10. Now it's a Fortune 5?
The big man, the boss man himself said it's a Sports and 10, and I don't argue with a man who's got the mic and is yelling at me.
You know, we got to do what we got to do for the love of an industry that is professional wrestling. KR Superstar definitely knows how to rile the crowd.
And for the safety of my insurance deductible.
Folks, we are out of time for this second edition of Ultimate Championship Wrestling. Again, thank you so much to all of you that were in attendance at UCW Defiance last night at the Hoops Academy in Ashland, Virginia. When we next see you, we will be talking with, I believe, MC123. We've talked to him about joining us. We'll talk to him about his career a little bit. And maybe some more upcoming news, hopefully, about the next Defiance and, of course, the next #1 contender. So stick with us. Be sure to check out Ultimate Championship Wrestling on Twitter, UCW 2017, UCWforever.com, and, of course, Ultimate Championship Wrestling LLC on Facebook. So with that, for Rob, for Brian, I'm Stan Grubb saying thank you so much, and we will see you next time on UCW Radio.